Woodman Arms Patriot shoots. Hello, welcome to this episode of The Tracking Archer. Today I'm going to be doing a review and some load development on my Woodman Arms Patriot G3. This is a smokeless rated 45 caliber inline muzzleloader. No better gun is made for the type of hunting that I do here in the Northeast. I say no better gun, no better muzzleloader. I'm pretty partial to my Savage 99 for rifle season, but this gun is made for the Northeastern deer hunter. I've got it topped off with a Leupold VX3 HD 1.5 to 5 by 20 scope. We're gonna see if we can't get her to shoot. Bullets I'm gonna be trying out are the Barnes Expander MZ in 45 caliber, and I am coupling those with the Harvester Crush Rib Sabots. The sabots that come with these Barnes bullets load way too tightly in this bore. So these ones load much simpler, and I've heard a lot of good things about the Harvester Sabots. I've personally had good success with them on different rifles or in different rifles in the past. So hopefully we can get her worked up today. By the way, if you haven't tried the Cedar Mountain Quick Loader, you really owe it to yourself. It is a slick system, no powder spillage until you pull that thing straight. And what that allows you to do is take this, shove it down the barrel, dump it in, it all empties, and you're done. No trying to make a funnel with your fingers to pour it in there or anything like that. Very simple. All right, we got the scope adjusted. The target set back up after it blew over. And we're gonna take another shot. Okay, well, she definitely came up. Needs to come up some more. But boy, left and right, we are pretty on the money. This gun's shooting consistently, despite the wind. I've adjusted again. See if we can get her right near the bull. It's hard to say on my windage because it's pretty breezy today and it's pretty sporadic, but I am perfect elevation wise and not far off on the windage. I think I'm gonna leave it, and I'm actually gonna bump up to 36 grains of powder now, and we'll see if that makes much of a difference, if I can get some groupings or not. I'm just gonna bump it up a little bit by little bit, 1 grain at a time, see if I can maintain some consistent results. And once we start going haywire, we call it quits. 36 grains, Vitavori N110 powder. Oh, I pulled that shot bad. I pulled that so bad. I gotta give that another chance. I jerked that trigger bad. Yowza! The Woodman Arms Patriot shoots. Let's go take a look at that target. So here I am at the target. All these down here we're sighting in. This is 36 grains of powder. I pulled this one bad, and I knew it as soon as I squeezed the trigger. But these 3 shots I felt pretty good on, and look at that group. I can literally cover that group with my thumb. Not too shabby. Now you'll notice there's no hammer on this muzzleloader, which is nice for more than one reason. Number one, snow and ice isn't going to build up in there. And where I live and hunt, we get plenty of snow and ice. And I am walking through the woods with this. I'm not just sitting in a tree stand. So I get stuff caked all over my guns when I'm hunting. No hammer is nice so that it doesn't get jammed up with snow and ice. So how does it cock, you may ask? Well, there's an internal striker system, and it is set by this front trigger guard that pulls back. And when you pull it all the way back, it clicks. And that is the striker setting, and that means it's ready to fire. Another indicator that it's ready to fire is this little tab that sticks down here. There's a red line on it. If you can see the red line, it is cocked. Very cool system. 37 grains of Vitavori N110. It's right in there, man. We'll have to see what it's doing when we get down there. I've upped the charge to 38 grains. See how this one shoots. Another shot of 38 grains. I believe I have found my load for my Woodman Arms Patriot G3. I shot a beautiful group with 36 grains of powder. When I moved up to 37 grains, I'm about, inch and a quarter, inch and a half apart there. And this is 38 grains, and this is not as tight as the 36 grain group was either. So I don't personally think there's as much point in wasting any more powder and bullets and sabots. 36 grains of Vitavori N110 gives me an awesome group just high of center. And now that I believe I've got my load developed, I'm going to take another day, do a little bit of longer range practicing. Longer range for me up here in Maine is 150 yards. That's about it. And we'll see how she groups then. But until then, first impressions of the Woodman Arms Patriot G3 is pretty fantastic. So I'll give you a bit of a close-up on how this cocking system works. Safety is on. That doesn't matter for cocking it. But the front of this trigger guard pulls back. I'll try to do this with my other hand. Okay, you pull this back. This is the action to break the gun open, like so. But if you keep going, you hear that click? That is the striker cocking internally. And when that happens, this little plunger drops down. You see the red line is visible. That is your indication that this gun is ready to fire. Now, you say, how do I uncock it? You know, I can't lower a hammer. Well, it's pretty simple. It's a bit of a gymnastics routine, but it's doable, okay? So you're gonna push that little button up, that little tab with the red indicator on it, up, pull this back. Then you could take your finger off of that tab, squeeze the trigger. Oops, my safety's on, so I gotta take that off. Squeeze the trigger, and then you'll feel tension on this front lever, and it pushes back forward. And now the gun is uncocked. You see that tab is up. You don't see any red on it. The gun is uncocked at this point. That's gonna wrap up my review and first shots from the Woodman Arms Patriot G3. I've got my load developed. It is 36 grains of Vitavori N110 smokeless powder, a .45 caliber 195 grain Barnes Expander MZ, and a Harvester crush rib sabot for the 45 caliber, of course, and then the Federal 209 primers. Shoots beautifully. I plan to get back out here, do some further testing and practice with it, some freehand shooting preferably. But I tell you what, if you are in the market for an awesome muzzleloader, look at Woodman Arms. They're made right in New Hampshire, US based company, entirely manufactured here. Phenomenal rifle. Excellent handling, perfectly balanced. If you carry your gun a lot, especially like those of us here in the Northeast or New York, upstate Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, if you're tracking, if you're still hunting a lot, you can't beat this muzzleloader. Excellent accuracy, beautiful balance. I am really enjoying it so far. Shoulders nicely. It's not perfect, so if you want to see a comparison of this rifle to my old CVA Optima V2, let me know in the comments. I would love to make a comparison video of what I like and what I don't like about each rifle. This is not a perfect gun. Nothing's perfect. But I tell you what, this gun's pretty great. Woodman Arms Patriot G3 smokeless rated. This has been my review of it. If you want to see some more deer hunting related content from the state of Maine, subscribe, like, share, do all your YouTube stuff. And thank you for watching The Tracking Archer. We'll see you next time. Until then, God bless and happy hunting to you.